Alright, let's check that audio. I think it is coming in pretty clear. So I wanted to make this video today to give you guys some insight, to just give you my experience with tarots, man. Tarots, definitely tarots. There are a lot of different methods to tarot readings and ways to use tarot. Me, I believe in a method that I feel like is very general. The method I use to draw cards and do readings, I feel like anybody can do. When I bought this deck, which is a topic all on its own, which I will definitely touch on here. It came with a book. I never opened the book. I never read it. I actually gave it away because I didn't want to even tempt myself with reading the book to obscure pretty much my vision and what I do end up coming to when I pull out the cards. I feel like it is that mystery that makes you want to, that really makes you put a little more thought into it to try to understand, and that's where really the reading comes in, you trying to understand. There are 78 cards in total. My cards, I don't think there's like 78. There might be. I've never counted the cards because I don't want to know. When it comes to reading tarots, there's a lot I don't want to know. I pretty much don't want to know anything about the cards. I want to be as open as possible. 78 cards, they say there's 22 major arcana, 56 minor arcana. Those just go into like the different categories. So I want to say if I were to split the deck just straight off my intuition, it'd be about this many cards. So this many would be the minor. They say that this many cards would give you like an action, almost like a motive, how to deal with the major, the overarching question you're asking, or problem, or just, area. 56 like different, you could say, like solutions to dealing with, what you see here. Me, it says I took down here notes. There's question readings, general readings. Me, I kind of lump it all into just one reading, since I don't really know. I like to keep myself open. Don't really know what's going on. I can ask a question and I might receive an answer, but I do believe more in these cards will lead you to greater wisdom. Pulling the cards, seeing what you get, seeing what they're trying to tell you, trying to understand that these cards symbolize more of just like a lesson, really just a wisdom. They say that there's also orientations of the cards. Me, I shuffle. I feel like I can't work with orientations because I shuffle the cards so much. I just, it'll be 10-20 minutes of just me shuffling the cards before, I actually just find somebody who wants a reading, or, I feel like I want to do my own reading. I just have like a lot of just downtime I spend with the cards. I feel like that really goes into, really just getting that nice randomness going, and that's what you want to go for. But also, going back to the orientations and why I can't, and why shuffling matters so much to me, is because I do end up just eventually shuffling the orientations of my cards. Never like this, but of course, I split the deck. I do a nice little bridge, and by then the orientations are all messed up, so I don't really work with orientations as much. Not to say that you couldn't if you wanted to, but this is just my way of dealing with the cards. This really gets into trying to understand and trying to hear what's not there, trying to read into something that is trying to read words that aren't there. This is really just trying to be in tune with the thing that is trying to communicate with you. Let's see. There are some things, just a few more things to get into before we can actually get into my methods of reading. I did, like I said earlier, I did buy this deck for myself because I wanted to, and I feel like that's step number one, guys. If you feel like you need somebody to buy you a tarot deck, you've definitely found them. By the way, I definitely would buy you your own tarot deck. Just hit me up. But I feel like if you want to really be into tarot, you want, it's something you're interested in, step one to essentially prove to the one that's going to be, delivering these messages to you through the cards is to buy your own cards. That's definitely step one. Me, how I chose my cards, I was definitely on Amazon, just scrolling, because I just wanted something that, I felt like the meaning was ambiguous enough that I could, really, I wanted cards that looked more like open-ended questions rather than, oh, this is this and it means this. I kind of wanted it to be, ambiguous. If I could get a tarot deck with 78 blank cards, I definitely would, and I would have a blast. But yeah, definitely pick something just overall that you like, because I mean, if you're like me, you'll definitely be looking at these cards for a long time. I never once laid all the cards out and looked at them. I like to even believe that there's cards in here in this deck that I have yet to draw. Of course, there's definitely infinite combinations, especially when you get up to drawing more cards per hand. So there's definitely combinations I've never seen, but I'd also like to, think that there's cards in this deck that I've never seen. I actually didn't know how many cards were in the deck until like 10 minutes ago. I thought there was like 200 cards in here, and if this is what 78 looks like, that's pretty weird. But yeah, I usually tell people there's like 200 cards here, and whatever. But that's definitely the standpoint I'm coming from. The less I know about the deck, I feel like the better the reading is, and the more intuitive the answer would be. Another thing, altars, guys. I kind of essentially do have an altar, and it's these rings right here. These rings, I wear 4 mood rings. I like to, at least when I'm drawing the cards. Some people ask, dude, what are the mood rings? What do they do for you? Definitely, why are they on your ring fingers? You look like you're married. In a sense, I am, guys. I'm married to the game. But yeah, these just, for me, it's more about symbolism rather than what they actually are, because let's be honest, they just tell me if my hands are hot or not. Again, if I'm pulling tarot cards and the rings go black because my hands are on fire, well, that means something right there. But yeah, this is more of just like, another, kind of like the cards, kind of like the unknown. It adds just another layer to the ambiance, Same thing with like the altar, it adds another layer. Some people light a candle because this or that reason, whatever their reason is. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm not saying it's right, but it's their own thing. Altars definitely is a thing to consider when you want to start dealing with tarots. So the first thing I do is I just keep shuffling. I'm just constantly shuffling. I never want to look at either the bottom cards or the top cards. I just want to keep it as unknown to me as I can. So I will usually be looking somewhere else while I'm like shuffling the cards. That's why I spend a lot of time shuffling them, because I'm looking pretty much everywhere else. but actual cards. Because I don't want to, I don't want to alter, the hand in any way. I don't want to alter the draw. I want to let it be random, because when it's random, it adds, like another, it pretty much incorporates that spirit into the cards. It lets the spirit really work the cards in the way they're supposed to be. So I try to do really good shuffles that just blend the cards together in a really good spot. I'll do things like this. I'll do this a few. I'll go back to riffing. I just want to make sure that top card is not in the same spot over and over. But I also want to make sure the inside cards are shuffled in nice and well. And when I say the spirit is in the cards, I mean like a Lady Luck herself, that one that everybody prays to when they go to Vegas and is trying to make it big. They say, man, Lady Luck, please be on my side. Come on, let me win this hand. Let me win. Even though casinos are completely rigged, rigged to make money. It's a business. You have a little bit more control in channeling Lady Luck herself into your deck, guys. Definitely do that. Shuffle it up. Make sure it's all messed up. And that way, when you do draw the same cards together, because a lot of the times, I don't want to say a lot of the times, because that means that you just can't. You're not listening. But yeah, sometimes you will get the same cards together, and when you do, that means that there's a message there that you should be understanding, you should be hearing. You need the cards want you to really look at that message again and see what is being said there. I could go on just talking forever now, because now that I've got to shuffling the cards, I'm trying everything not to pay attention to the cards. So I could just essentially talk forever, shuffling cards forever, but I will draw you a hand real quick. I'll start like this. This is a new technique that I just developed pretty much for what I actually do. I live stream on a thing called Scout, guys. Scout, Meet Me, Plenty of Fish. It's all the same thing. It's really just me talking with somebody else, and if they want their cards read, I'll read them their cards. However, it is like over the internet, so usually you'll have somebody riff through the cards, and when they say stop, you're supposed to stop, and there goes your card. But however, it gets really, it does have a delay, so it might say stop, and I'll keep going, but just hear it here. But really, they wanted to pull this card, so I decided, pick a number 1 through 5, and they'll pick their number. I've done this a lot, so people, they always pick 3. When I say 1 through 5, they pick 3, so that goes, if I imagine splitting the deck into 5 parts, or even, 3 is just in the middle of 1 and 5, I'll just go to the middle of the deck and start, from there. But for me, dude, I always pick 5, the 1 or 5. So what I'll do is I'll pull a card. Since I pick 5, I'm going straight off the top of the deck. However, me, I like to be accurate, even though I know I'm not as good, I'm not that good enough to, just pull one off the top and be like, oh yeah, this is your card. So I'll pull the first one, I'll pull the second one off the top, the third one off the top, and the fourth one off the top. I'll do 3 more from there, but then I'll also go from the bottom, and I'll pull 3 more. This isn't usually how I pull, but this is just a new way. And from here, I'll go ahead and lay the deck down, and I'll just see. That's why orientation doesn't really matter for me, because I just do whatever. I like to have all the cards facing straight up anyway. I take a lot of these cards for face value, and that kind of was got really lucky when I found this deck, because these pictures are very you're able to really just take it for face value. A lot of tarot cards, you know, a lot of decks have reoccurring meanings. So there'll be a lot of, you know, death cards. Like this deck even has a card to represent death, but that doesn't necessarily mean like somebody's gonna die. All tarot cards, you know, have a card in there, and if you draw it, that means you're gonna die, or somebody you know is gonna die. It could also just mean like a concept or a struggle, or even, you know, a blessing in your life is coming to an end. It's, you know, it's ran its course and it's time for it to end, you know, for something else to, you know, replace it. So the stigma against like tarot cards that you're summoning like this or that is it's not really, you know, like true. However, you know, I will be playing into that stigma here sometime soon, because I feel like, you know, the stereotypes do hold truth. That just is, that's, you know, I apply that knowledge to everything. Any stereotype does hold some sense of the truth to it, and that's just how I go about my spiritual conquest when it comes to things like that of that nature. Yeah, I'm definitely back to shuffling right now, because I am going to pull another hand, and in a different way though. That this is the first way I started to pull tarots and really understand the art behind it. So even though I'm not giving it too much of a good shuffle, I still believe that I can pull something of meaning. And usually when I do this, it's more of how I was saying before. You're trying. This is how I find the wisdom in the cards. So for this, it takes a lot. So I split the deck into two. After shuffling, I split it into two, of course face down, and I try to pull out everything I have, all of my talents. So I draw three cards with each hand, and this is where I really try to defer a meaning. And here we go. And there we are, guys. This right here, this hand is crazy. This hand is crazy. This hand is crazy. They don't usually mean something together, but when they do, it's pretty insane. Yeah, I thank everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you guys have other things you'd like me to check out, I feel like I'm a very strong psychic. I don't feel like it, I know it. So if there's some things you want me to check out, stones you want me to look into, invest in, definitely let me know in the comments, and I'll give it a look. I'll give it a try. I'll give you my 2 cents about it, and I'll be back with y'all.